Welcome to the annual Spill Response and Awareness Training for the Unilever Independence Facility. Specifically, we're going to cover topics including our stormwater pollution prevention plan and our spill prevention control countermeasures. The first topic we're going to cover is stormwater management, which is covered under our stormwater pollution prevention plan. Stormwater management is a provision that's regulated by the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, under the Clean Water Act. The Clean Water Act is a law that governs water pollution control and the quality of our waterways. So why do we have environmental regulations such as the Clean Water Act? Well, for example, just like this. Back in 2011, some companies in China illegally dumped dye into their stormwater system. This dye traveled down the pipes to the nearest stream and caused the river to run red through the city. We've had numerous examples in the States dating back to the 1960s and 70s, most famously in my hometown of Cleveland, Ohio, where the Cuyahoga River caught on fire due to oil slick forming on the surface of the river. That event actually led to the formation of the EPA in 1970. So what do we do here at Unilever Independence to make sure that our waterways stay clean? Well, for starters, we have a Stormwater Pollution Prevention Plan, or SWPP. The SWPP ensures that our facility limits the exposure of potential pollutants to our stormwater. We must maintain appropriate conditions to limit the potential impacts to stormwater. Some of these potential pollution impacts include raw materials, which could be spilled at the receiving docks or at the bulk unload areas outside. Chemicals, such as chemicals we have in the outside bulk chemical tanks for tea or for the wastewater treatment plant. Waste, including waste tea leaves, trash, and used oil, as well as diesel fuel at the fire pump house or even stored in semi-trucks. Stormwater sources include rain, snow, or sleet. And the issue is, as these liquids fall as precipitation or melt, the stormwater can flow on impermeable surfaces and then pick up contaminants with it, causing polluted stormwater runoff into our creeks and rivers. Stormwater runoff can collect pollutants such as oil or chemicals from nearly every surface it falls on. This can occur in areas such as paved areas in our parking lot, equipment stored outside, outdoor chemical tanks, and any work materials that are stored outside. Stormwater picks up pollutants on these impermeable surfaces and proceeds to the nearest stormwater drain. The issue is, once it enters the stormwater drainage network, it'll flow to a tributary connecting to Rock Creek located 750 yards north of the facility without any water treatment. If we don't take action to ensure that our stormwater remains clean, pollutants such as oils could proceed down to the tributary to Rock Creek and end up killing fish or cause other environmental harm. This is an aerial view of Unilever Independence. Our facility sits on 43 acres. In that space, we have plenty of paved areas, including our employee lot, our west trailer lot, and our east trailer lot, where we could easily have a potential for pollutants to be picked up from rainwater if we were to have oil or chemicals spilled outside. All of those chemicals could potentially lead to that tributary connecting to Rock Creek up here at the north of the facility if we're not vigilant and follow the guidelines outlined in our stormwater pollution prevention plan. In addition to oil or gasoline, there are actually many materials that could be classified as a stormwater pollutant. That includes raw materials that are spilled outside, for example, maltodextrin or corn syrup solids, any significant spill on soil that could degrade our groundwater, chemical spills in any quantity, waste stored in open-top dumpsters where rainwater could reach that material and leak out of the container and head to our stormwater drains, as well as any trash or litter outside where, again, stormwater could run off on that material and then pick up pollutants and head down our stormwater system. While our site SWPP plan focuses on any pollutants that could enter our stormwater system, our site SPCC plan, or Spill Prevention Control and Countermeasures plan, focuses on oil and the impact it can have on our environment. Our SPCC plan has three main points. It focuses on spill prevention, where we prevent discharges of oil products by using administrative controls such as inspections and personnel training. Spill control related to oil, where we just have control measures in place to prevent a spill from reaching the environment, as well as oil spill countermeasures, and we have procedures for the recovery, response, and cleanup and disposal of any potential oil spill. The Environmental Protection Agency has a pretty broad definition of what is considered an oil that needs to be regulated under an SPCC plan. Of course, it includes all petroleum-based oils, such as fuel oil, gasoline, hydraulic fluid, motor oil, and diesel fuel. But it also includes animal fats and oils, such as chicken fat, as well as different vegetable oils like palm oil. It also includes any wastes that are mixed with the oils I just mentioned. For example, if we had primarily a water spill, but it got slightly mixed with palm oil, then it would be an oil regulated under an SPCC plan. There are many areas in Unilever Independence where we store different oils that are regulated under an SPCC plan. For example, we store used oil in the shed outside. Our maintenance shop has some oil drums in storage, as you can see pictured here. In savory process, we have many areas that contain chicken fat, palm oil, or sunflower oil. And we also have diesel fuel in our fire pump house. Now we're going to go over the steps for a small spill response. For example, if you were to spill a couple gallons of a chemical or oil. The first step, you must notify your supervisor immediately, as well as the maintenance and SHE department. If you happen to come across a chemical spill, initially stay clear of it until you know and identify the certain hazards associated with that chemical. If possible, attempt to identify the approximate amount of material that has been spilled so we can report it effectively. If you can do so safely, work to contain the spill. Use the safety data sheet to determine how to safely treat the spill. Locate a spill cleanup kit. After the spill, review the contents in the spill kit to verify that the materials are adequately stocked for the next spill. Work to contain the spill using absorbent materials, such as absorbent mats, socks, or booms. Make sure you're wearing your proper PPE to protect yourself against any of the chemical hazards associated with the spill you're cleaning up. You may also use a drying agent, such as oil dry, to absorb material as needed. Once a spill is absorbed, place the absorbed material into an appropriate container. The SHE department will help you work to label the container of absorbed materials, such as spill debris, with the contaminant name, and then we'll work to properly dispose of those spill materials. In the event of a large-scale spill, such as an entire chemical tote rupturing, please notify building maintenance immediately first, then your supervisor and the SHE department. We want to notify maintenance first because they are the best equipped to clean up a spill of this size. If it is safe to do so, please use materials from the nearest spill kit, such as absorbent socks, to try and contain the leading edge of the spill and stop it from spreading to other areas. If the spill ends up being too large for our building maintenance team, we'll have to contract an authorized third-party agency to help clean up the spill and dispose of the associated spill materials. Unilever uses a hierarchy for the reporting and cataloging of environmental incidents, with the most serious being Category 1 or 2 incidents. For example, that would be if we discharge untreated foaming wastewater into the community. Category 3 incidents are less severe, but still represent a violation of environmental laws and regulations. For example, a possible temporary minor breach in our pH levels for our wastewater. An environmental near miss is an event that occurred which could have led to an environmental incident, either Category 1, 2, or 3. For example, in the picture here, a forklift transporting chemical drums outside dropped those drums, but no chemicals were leaked outside in the incident. An environmental unsafe condition, for example, would be a leak in a water, air, or steam pipe, or having spill kits on the floor that are not adequately stocked. An unsafe act with regard to environmental, for example, would be using leaking equipment, overflowing waste bins, and leaving chemical containers open. All environmental unsafe conditions or incidents must be reported immediately to your supervisor so we can perform an investigation and develop corrective actions to make sure an incident does not occur again. We really need your help to report any environmental unsafe acts or conditions so they don't ever become a near miss or Category 1, 2, or 3 incident. This concludes our annual refresher training for SWPPP and SPCC and spill response awareness for Unilever Independence. Feel free to stop by the SHE office with any questions. Thank you, and make sure you submit your Weaver Apps training and answer all required questions. Thank you.